So I'm going to talk a little bit about intimacy to put the experiential work we did in context and to talk about applying this in life. And even as I say that, it may be for some of you that there's a sense of, am I going to be offered a strategy here, a trick, or please give me a behavior that I can do when I meet someone that's magically going to create more connection. And I want to begin by saying that these strategies, these tricks, that we all do them on some level, they're the actual things that break intimacy. And what I'm really inviting, what I'm really encouraging, is coming back to a deep, authentic sense of who we are underneath, and to share that with another, to share what we're feeling, what we're experiencing. And I think we all know that with the people we're most connected with the people we trust, with our friends, with our loved ones, actually the depth of intimacy that really develops comes from an authentic sharing of what's underneath. But of course this requires courage, it's scary, it requires a trust. And part of this is the trust that all aspects within our being are actually okay. And almost all of us don't have this. There will be parts of us that we are constantly trying to cut off from. So part of the journey to create more connection is creating a connection with oneself. And of course, embodiment is part of this, embodiment practices. Maybe you do meditation or yoga or qigong. That's really, really important to come down into the body so that you can feel yourself. Nobody else is going to be able to feel you if you can't already feel yourself. That's really important. But also to build this awareness of what am I cutting off from in myself? And this is not so obvious. All of us have blind spots. And this is really where shadow work comes in. To be able to bring awareness to the places that we are shaming, the places that we're not allowing in ourselves, and to gradually make friends with those so we can bring them on board. Not so that we become them or identify with behaviors that we know get in the way, but so that we can really own them and show up as, well, I'm not I'm not perfect. I have all of these things, but this is who I am. And this really brings a humility, it brings a kind of humanness, which in itself is really beautiful. It's beautiful to see people being honest in who they are. And this is the real prerequisite to all of the work that we're doing. I was talking about moving slowly in the workshop, but if you're moving slowly, it's not really going to have an effect unless you're really in yourself, unless you're really allowing whatever arises in you to come through. Because it's actually these arisings, these flows of energy, this natural aliveness in the body that creates intimacy, that creates connection. And we can be curious about this. So something we do in longer workshops that are similar is we begin to explore the centers within the body that we're connected with. Am I moving from my heart as I move towards someone? Am I moving more from my sexuality, or am I moving from a kind of thinking and trying to work it out place? And this awareness, so it's not a bolting on, it's not an adding to who you are, but it's bringing a deep awareness to the places that you're connected and the places that you're not connected inside. And that awareness itself allows more of you to come on board in your connection with yourself, and so you can bring that to another. And part of building this awareness is being in environments that allow us to really be authentic. Because let's face it, in the normal world this isn't happening so much. Most people aren't relating in this way. Most people don't have the courage or the trust, so that needs to be built. And most of us didn't receive it from our caregivers in these places where we feel insecure about. But that can be built by interacting with others, by being seen in these places where we maybe feel insecure or unsure of ourselves. And often when, even like the places we doubt the most, when they're witnessed, they're actually really just beautiful aspects of our being. And then we can start to learn that and have confidence in bringing those on board. And in a way, this is what we were doing on the workshop, by allowing ourselves to authentically share when we had an openness to move forward and come closer, when we needed our own space. By allowing that, it kind of creates something, and maybe you had a little taste of that. So a lot of this work, and a lot of the work that I do, a lot of living Tantra, is about creating these environments, about creating these conditions for us to be seen in the places where we don't already love ourselves. Then we can receive love in those places and have a confidence and a trust in the nature of our own being. So I'll finish by saying something about slowness, because I went on a lot about slowness in the workshop. And I want to leave you with this important key, because it happens a lot. It certainly happened a lot for me in my relating, that often when we encounter a feeling or something arising in us that isn't so uncomfortable, there's two responses. One is to withdraw to try and create change, but the other is kind of counterintuitive. It's to speed up, to kind of step over what is happening in the current moment. And so what I'm suggesting is that when there is that desire to speed up, there may be something happening inside that feels a little bit uncomfortable. So those are the key moments to slow down, to take a pause and see, well, what is happening here within me?